Computer. Yes, indeed. So, of course, welcome to the very first Lunch and Learn Zoom meeting for the ladies. Let me see, share screen option. Did anybody do the first assignment at all?
Well, you know I did. I posted it.
Yeah, unmute. Y'all listen, y'all know we all gonna be talking on here. It's not this not my show. We all talking. So I wanted to go over, let me make that large if I can. Here we go. The first assignment, how do you show up and how do you want to show up? We're going to definitely tap into accountability because, oh, let me make sure I'm not on that other Zoom talking. Okay. Accountability. When I looked in the beginning of the Empower Women group, I had a couple rooms open to ask some questions for, the women that jumped into the group first, right? And I used that information to be able to kind of determine what's going to be the very first topic that we discuss and then help with the next couple of weeks, right? And amazing, every single woman that had joined initially said accountability. Accountability was what they wanted help on. What they needed more focus on is accountability, right? So I first wanted to go into this showing up. Like, I want you to think about how you show up right now. And there's the first three things, right? So in this business, we're talking about God first, family second, career third. And why these things are important is because if you don't have these things in order within your life, you can't have, the business is not going to work. All right. Let's just be clear. The business is not going to work. This business that we're in, this insurance business, is all about transferring energy from one to another. It is all about, energy. It's energy. So if your life isn't right, your home life, your business life won't be right. It just doesn't work. Okay. So I wanted to start with really tapping in with whether you are a believer. I think everybody on here is believers, but if you're not, that's your own prerogative. However, I'm definitely a believer. I'm not any type of denomination. I'm a non-denomination. So you never will hear me speak like one religion over another because I believe in God, right? But this is primarily your relationship, like how your relationship is with your higher power. And is it something, are you in that space where you believe you should be, or are you struggling there? Are you only tapping in whenever you need something or you feel bad, right? So that's the very first thing that I wanted everybody to really stop and think about, that relationship. And as you see on the other side is, how do you show up today? And then how do you want to show up? Right? Somebody's asking if they can join. I'm like, it's open for every female. So, these are things that we have to take a moment and really tap into it, right? But a lot of times we don't think about it. We never slow down enough. We're go. We got this, that, like it's always go until there's trauma, and then we stop and pray. God doesn't want that. You know what I mean? He wants us 100% in the beginning of our day, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day, all day long. Right? We seek him first, everything else will be added to us. And so I really want us to really start tapping into that relationship and being able to see, okay, when I'm doing all this and I'm trying to focus on living the best life, being that Proverbs woman, and we'll be talking about that also, like what that really means. Because the world today is kind of, I don't know, they've shifted all of the different meanings and only give you pieces of what certain things mean. But like, we are amazing. God has made us freaking amazing. Okay. Like, we have so many gifts and strengths. It's not even funny, but because of the world, we've kind of been stripped from some things, and also our belief, right? Our belief is not there. Second thing is your relationship with your spouse. If you have a spouse and your family, like, are we really showing up for the family? And I'm saying showing up, it doesn't mean just being there and around them. Like, when we're around them, are we really there, or are we thinking about what we should be doing? Are we thinking about what calls we should have made, or what text messages we should have been sending, or the fact that we didn't get anybody on the phone today, or everybody on the phone cussed us out? Like, what is it that we are thinking about when we are with our family? And then the last one, our business. Are we really showing up for our business? Now, Michelle actually shared hers on the group. But I went a little bit further on mine, and I put down like we have 100% of time, right? So I looked at like we have 100% of time. And then I put down breaking down like my percentages in those 3 areas. And that's for me because I'm a numbers person. So that's just something extra that I did for me and how I wrote it down. And I'm putting 60% of my energy into my business. And then my family and God time, I was like struggling, like, okay, is that really equal? I put 20-20, but I don't think it's really 20-20. I guess it really just depends on maybe the day or what's going on. But that's it's pretty low, right? It's pretty low. And I just put in like what I want. So I know where I am. I am one that I'm always tracking what I'm doing, where I'm at. Like my boards behind me show me, when I'm working, when I'm not working, how many times I'm talking to somebody when I ain't got a business talking to them. So I do track. So I'm clear with where I am and why I'm where I am. Right. But then putting down, what do I want? So I really had to sit down and think about like, okay, what is it that I really want? And not only putting down what I want, but why. Do any of you ladies want to share your thoughts on this section right here?
Hi, everybody. This is Tishla. I like the way you broke that down. I had told Michelle earlier when she did it, I said, I see something. I'm like, oh, that's exactly me. But I never actually write it down. But the way you just said it, it was like, okay, because when you think about it, it's like we give so much to this business because of where we want to be and what we know we can be in this business. And everything else sort of falls to the latter because it's like, listen, because my kids will call me like, Mom, you at work? Like my brother called me last night at like 7:30. He said, you still in the office? I'm like, it's the last day of the week for me. I'm still in the office. Like he's like, well, what? So we give so much to the business because we know what the business can do for us. But then like, because when I looked at it this morning, I sat there and I was like, yeah, I said, God forgive me because I need to do better. Like I need to learn how to take care of me better. It's like the family. I'm like, yeah, I love on y'all, but like learning how to take care of me, like take care of God, take care of me, and then everything else falls in place. But because I give so much to this, I can see when you broke it down into percentages, it's like, oh,
right,
I'm in trouble. It's like,
right,
because I'm not taking care of myself. So it's like, okay, I can feel that, I'm gaining weight. My health is not right. I was like everybody else, because everybody, and like you said, as women, we give so much. And it's like everybody they just take, and it's like when you need or when you want, everybody's looking at you like, but you the mom, but you the wife, but you the this. And I'm like, I'm tired of being all that. Like, like I don't want to do it no more. But I like the way that both of y'all broke it down. So yes, it's a lot.
It is. It is. And one thing I'm just gonna tap in where you're saying like us giving, you know what I mean? Me and Darnell were at breakfast this morning. He's in from out of town. So he's coming to stay with me for like a week or so. And he's also a giver, you know what I mean? He's a giver of his resources, his time, his energy, all of those things. And then, like you just said, at the end of the day, we're exhausted. We don't have like nothing else. And I said, I remember years ago, I read this or came across on a video or something where it said, givers, be careful.
What she be calling you for?
Who that?
How you meet this woman you with now?
No, I've been there. Remember we standing in College Park?
I don't know who that is.
It's Kenya Capri. Kenya Capri. Look for Kenya Capri.
Kenya, I'm about to fight you, girl. All right. So thank y'all, because I couldn't see it on my screen. So I told him, I said, what I learned, and it always stuck to me because I'm so much of a giver. And I remember I used to give, and I'd be exhausted and wore out, and like it'd be my last. And then when it's time that I need, there's nobody there, right? or I was just embarrassed, or not embarrassed because I don't get embarrassed. Just didn't have it in me to ask. You know what I mean? Ask. So I when I heard this, it said, givers, be careful because the takers have no limit.
Wow.
That spoke volume to me.
I saw a meme like that, like in the last day or two, like a meme popped across, and I'm like, yo, like that's exactly what it is. Like they take everything we have, and they like, it's like, okay.
Yeah. And when you're done giving, they move on. But it's our fault. Like, this is part of accountability, right? It's our fault. Anyone else want to share at all? And of course, you don't have to, because I know this is kind of personal, but if you want to.
This is Vivian. I wrote some things down for the how do I show up for the family. I put I allow it to consume, and my family is usually first. And what I put for improvement that how do I want to improve for the show up is get a balanced schedule with family when it comes to work, because when something happens, it's all about the family. But when I put for God, I pray in the morning 3 to 5 days and read my Bible. But how I want to do better is I want it to be consistent every day, waking up and praying and read my Bible, and not like sometimes rolling over and say, okay, give me lay down for an hour, and then next thing you know, it is time to get up to go to work.
Right.
So, and then for the work, how I show up is I go to each meeting, I plug in, as well as the live dial 7 out of 10. And how I want to do better is I put with getting my schedule better and keep reminding myself, if I had a 9 to 5, then I wouldn't have a problem or wouldn't allow the distractions to get in my way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to do better. And it's just more balancing on all of those and consistency.
Consistency. Mm-hmm.
and another thing, I don't have much time for myself. So I got to put that in there too.
Say that again. Having time for yourself?
Yeah, I said I don't have much time for myself because I'm doing everything else. So I have to put that in the schedule as well.
Right. Right. Balancing is so key. It is so key. At the end of my exercise for myself, because I gave you my percentages of where I show up today, I also had wrote down a couple agents, female agents, that I thought was like, yeah, I could see being a little more like this person. So like the one lady, well, two of them, Mindy Tibbs. If you don't know who she is, check her out on YouTube. Both ladies are on YouTube, Instagram. And the other one is Vivian, Weyll. Now, Vivian, they both were at convention, both spoke at convention. Both of them are family women. They have younger children, and they do it all. And they don't look stressed out. Their husbands are supportive. They're there with them. You can see, like, especially Vivian on her Instagram, you can see how she's very in tune, and like from, their pictures. So who really knows, but being able to see them at convention and the energy that they both had, you can tell like they're in sync. Their husband and wife are in sync with their roles. Right. And just being able to see that they're intentional when they're traveling and they're together with the kids, and just the love that's there. And then the work, because she is a top producer within her own agency, but she has time for her children and her husband, right? So it's having that balance. And we hear all the time, they say that there is no balance as an insurance agent. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe it is just a matter of deciding what it is that you want and then moving forward. Vivian said this at convention. It was in my notes. She also has it on her Instagram page. What would you do if no matter what? What would you do if no matter what, if you knew you would succeed in this business? Right? So if you knew you were going to succeed in this business, what would you do no matter, like, what would you do? It would be how we show up and what we do every day would be completely different, because we wouldn't worry about the days when we get the people cussing us out all day and not getting a sale, because we would know, well, tomorrow we probably will, you know. And it's just the last thing I'll touch on this, and then we'll jump to the next topic, is we come over here and we kind of get, and maybe I'm speaking for myself, but we kind of get caught up in this. If we didn't get a sale today, then we're not any good. But you forgot that when you were working a 9 to 5, we got paid every 2 weeks, most of us. And some of us got paid monthly, right? So why do we get so caught up when we just don't get a sale today? Can anybody share? Am I the only one that thinks like that?
Yeah, I would share. I would say because I hear and see others like getting sales. And whenever I hear that, I say to myself, man, I should be doing better. I should get a sale. So it's what I hear about when others get it.
Right.
I agree. That's me all day. And, you know, guys, definitely. And I'm really good at, I feel like I'm really good at, I'm happy for other people's successes. I don't feel like I'm a jealous person, but what happens for me is sometimes I do get into that comparison mode where it's like, okay, well, what's wrong with me? Mm-hmm. And as you were talking, Chrissy, with yours, I added a fourth one is, and as Tish was talking, is my relationship with myself, because I have to deal with my negative talk to myself constantly.
You in my notes, girl.
Day. So I just wrote that down, like, because one of my counselors, she was like, it sounds like you are not forgiving of yourself. And I'm not. So I definitely needed to add number 4, because at times, and it messes with your mind, and then it is a whole circle thing. And setting time for yourself is so important as women, because we do wear so many hats. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna go back now that you did give me some more insight on how to break this down a little bit more, so I can go a little bit deeper. Yes. Because it is mental, it's spiritual. I know for and I only consider, well, I would say for all of us, but definitely from my aspect and where I'm looking at it from, God has been dealing with me, and I just know that this is a season of breakthrough for many of us, for a lot of us, whoever walks in it, for real, you know? Yeah. And so I really want to dissect that. So those are some really, really good points, but I forgot where I was going, so I'm gonna shut up.
That's all right. That's all right. So we're gonna go ahead and shift on over to the number 1 request from this group was accountability. It was accountability. So the definition, I did post this in a group, but I wanted to just reiterate it here. The Webster Dictionary says the definition of accountability is the obligation or willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions, right? They gave an example. This came from the dictionary. A great example of accountability is when you are focused on achieving your goal and tasks. If you're able to limit the distractions and pressures, you're successful in achieving those goals, right? But I was listening to this little video. Let me see if I click on it. Will it work? Did it work? No, it didn't work. So I know where it's at. I want you guys to listen to this video. All right, so those are the leads. Hopefully I didn't close it. All right. I want you guys, it's a 12-minute, it's not going to take us off of track. But I really want you ladies to listen to him. And while you're listening to him, think about yourself. Think about you and how this might be speaking to you. As my phone just said, we are worthy of love and appreciation. Listen to this guy.
Something that will make you a very powerful individual is taking accountability for your own life. You understand? For the results.
Can you guys hear okay?
Even for the things that you didn't cause, but
if you could turn
a little low.
Yes,
Christine.
it's a little low.
It's a little bit low.
Take ownership. We focus on solutions. We root ourselves in solutions. You know what I realized I don't like? When people blame everything on like a devil. Like, oh, the devil kept me in bed this morning. No. The devil did not keep you in bed this morning.
It's as loud as it can go.
You understand? That was you complacent. That was you who started to procrastinate. I've been doing this beautiful thing lately. Just taking extreme accountability for everything. You understand? Even the things that aren't my fault. Because then I just solve problems. And the next thing is, I don't allow my feelings to drive this vessel. You understand? Now, we feel a lot every single day. Like, how tricky is it just to be a human being? Like the amount of emotions that go through us, you understand? Like the anxious feelings, the joy, the excitement, the anger, you know, the ones that we can't even identify. Like I've always said, especially in the English language, like we have a limited language. Now, I know in other cultures, there's more words and ways to express how you feel, especially in English. Like I think there's things that we feel that we don't even have the words yet to express it or to make sense of it. So being a human being is this complicated. And that's why I always say, oh, I have so much gratitude for this complicated experience, right? Because we feel so much on a daily, and that is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, we can't allow our feelings to always drive this vessel. Mind over matter, my friend. The mind can be a very, very powerful tool. One, when we take accountability, and two, when we make a decision. You know, I realize complacency is a choice. Like we fall into complacency, but we choose to stay there. It's a choice. And when I'm not in the mood, let's say I'm not in the mood to record, I literally tell myself, I don't care, Heinz. Like, I don't care how you feel. This is what we're going to do. We made a plan. We're going to fulfill it. Like how I feel doesn't determine my day. That's not how I've been able to build what I do. That's not how I've been able to push through anything. Understand? I'm not saying we should ignore our feelings, right? Of course not. Because we want to tap into how we feel and heal and with our emotional intelligence, have that self-discovery. But some of us, our feelings run our life.
Period.
In the morning, and it's like, it's a gamble because a lot of times we can't choose how we feel, can we? Nobody chooses to be anxious. Nobody chooses to have anxiety. It comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. You're going to a party, you're excited. And next thing you know, you step into the room and the energy's off. You're like, whoa. Now people are talking to you and you can't even get them eye contact. And you're just like in this space. You don't want to be there. You feel all these energies and you're just like, whoa. Nobody chooses that, right? Nobody. But we get to choose how we're going to solve that. And we get to choose our next step. Our feelings 100% become irrelevant a lot of the times if we want to build or we want to be productive or we just want to build our best life. You understand? I made a video on that, but we're going to dive deeper. Now, take accountability, right? The devil did not make you late for work. Right? This bad thing didn't happen to you because you did a bad thing 3 years ago. Okay. Pull yourself out of a superstitious mind all the time and now be someone who just solves problems. The other day I was in here working, I was in a flow, you understand? We vibe and we creating. I'm like, boom. That morning, I didn't even want to shoot. I woke up and I was just like tired. I was like, no, today's not a good day to shoot. I don't have many ideas today, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, how you feel right now? Doesn't matter. Go make some tea. Went and made some tea, took some time to myself, came to the studio, still didn't feel like doing anything. Came in here, got in motion, you understand? Motivation kicks in 30% of the way, a lot of the time. Now I'm in a flow, everything's great. Drinking my tea, put my tea down. Next thing I know, I push over my tea. Goes all over my computer. I grab my computer, turn it over, turn it off, and I say, amazing. I literally said amazing. I was like, great. I was like, great, I'm gonna let that dry. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna continue writing on this idea. And that's what I did. Computer dried off. I just had complete faith that it was gonna work out. And I even said to myself, you know what? If for some reason it is burnt, because I just literally spilled hot black tea all over this brand new laptop. If something is wrong with it, I'll get it fixed. I'll get a new laptop. If I had to borrow a laptop today, I'll borrow a laptop. Whatever it is, I was like, I'll deal with it. A lot of times, like we would allow feelings to get into that experience right there, and we just stop what we're doing. Oh no, too many bad things are happening. Oh no, the devil trying to stop me. Oh no, my feelings now, I'm sad. No, my friend, You have so much, like the spirit is so much more powerful. The spirit is so much more powerful. You know what I love on TikTok is sometimes you come across these people who are unfortunately experiencing some hard times, right? You know, they may be in the hospital with a cancer, and for some reason, they have so much joy. You know, they're expressing, they're creating, they're interacting. They're choosing to lift themselves high. They're choosing to vibrate on a higher frequency. It's a choice, you understand? How they feel, well, one, they feel sick. One, they have a lot of fear. They don't have to live another day. But they are choosing, making the decision to take the higher road. I talk about procrastination and complacency quite a bit on this channel because I realize we all do it. It's like the number one thing getting in our way. I believe the number one thing that prevents most of our dreams from accomplishing isn't really outside external events. Of course, those have a factor, but it's us. We get in our own way all the time. And a lot of the times, it's just our feelings. It's our lack of confidence. Oh, I don't feel confident to go in that room and do that presentation. I'm going to pretend that I'm sick. Your feelings shouldn't matter in that moment. You choose to have that experience. You tell yourself, I may not be confident, but I'm going to just pretend that I'm confident. I may be scared, but I'm going to do it scared. You understand? That is how you strengthen the mind. That is how you strengthen the spirit. We all know how we strengthen our bodies, don't we? How do you strengthen your body? You go to the gym, right? You lift weights. And once you master that level of weights, usually add a little bit more weight so you can build more size. How do you strengthen the mind? How do you strengthen the spirit? Not by oozing into your comfort every single day and listening and allowing every feeling to have rule over you. It's the opposite. You get to decide. Your feelings don't rule you. You understand? Your feelings are not a leader. They can teach us, right? I've learned so much from my feelings. I've learned so much from the way I feel my emotions through my experiences, so much from observing other people and their feelings, their experiences. But your feelings don't have to lead you. And your feelings can be an amazing tool once you put them into the process. Oh, you're feeling sad today, but you told yourself you're going to make a song. Well, who cares? Make a song. Guess what? Put that feeling into the song. Because our emotions are one of the greatest vessels, right, for creativity, for other people to relate to what we're doing, right? You can input how you felt one time, put it into something, but don't allow those feelings to keep you in one place. Wasn't the devil, and it's dead. Every single day doesn't need to be a just chilling, comforting myself type of day. A lot of the times we have to override how we feel and we just choose because complacency is a choice. We make the decision. Our feelings, sometimes I believe, are just testing us. You know what? I'm going to kick in a little bit of anxiety into this body today just to see what they're going to do. Oh, you choose to continue and be a confident person. You choose to step out into the world and, you know, show compassion and love. You know, halfway through the day, you get into a flow state, right? I love that. I love when my day starts off on the wrong foot and I make it better. You know, I love when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't have an idea today. And then I come up with a great idea because I choose to. You understand? We all have that choice every single day. What we have to do, we have to take accountability for our life, for our decisions, for our results, and even for the things that we can't control. Just take accountability because then you will create solutions. And then when you do decide to have those days where you're just in your comfort and whatever it may be, you decide that. But it's not because your feelings were in control. It's because your spirit was in control. Our spirit is so strong, but sometimes we just need to do our spiritual push-ups, you understand? Mind over matter. Really start to think of this as a tool. Really start to realize, like, if you can make your mind focus a little bit better, if you can have a clear mind, you'll be able to produce some better thoughts, better solutions, and you'll also feel better. But even if you don't feel good today, but you have a goal, guess what? You have two hands, you have two legs, I think, right? If you don't, you have one, whatever it may be. But you still have a body, you're still breathing, you still have life, which means you are still able. Identify where you are, but know you have the ability to change. I recognize one of my best gifts is it doesn't matter how hard things get, I know I have the ability to change it. It doesn't matter how I feel, I know I have the ability to change. Focus on that. Yeah, you've been complacent, or you've been procrastinating, or you've been sad, but you have the ability to change. You may have to change some behaviors, right? Implement some positive ones, get your body moving, do something for your spirit, build some community, whatever it may be. Focus on the first step, and the rest, my friend, is going to fall into motion, and it's going to be beautiful. So let's take accountability 100%. Understand? Take accountability. Create the life you love. Love the life that you live. I'll see you very soon. Something that will.
All right, ladies. Who wants to, hopefully you were able to hear it enough, because that was as loud as I was able to make it.
I think he's very soft-spoken.
He's very soft-spoken, and also my internet was being very slow, so I was catching every few words. However, I feel like I got the message though, because for me, this is my self-talk all the time. Are you going to let those few things ruin your day right now, or are you going to buck it up and just chuck it and just move on from this point on? And just like yesterday, things kept happening yesterday, and it took me out of my schedule, because I just started writing a schedule. And I was like, I'm going to stick to it. And then all these things came up yesterday that were unavoidable. And instead of being there and taking care of what I needed to, I was stressing out. I was stressing out because I felt like the day was getting away from me and everything was flying out of my control. And then when I was able to get back where I needed to be, I felt so lost. And then I said, okay, so this really spoke to me about really managing your emotions and not letting things get the best of you. Usually I can be good at that, but when it's this little on top of it, it just gets to be too much. But those are where you can show up your biggest. It's like, I don't care how big it is, you can just start from where you are and just, okay, don't bring that to the next moment. And that's what I was getting from what I heard. And I appreciate that.
Thank you. Good. Anyone else?
I just love him pointing out, about the devil. We back in the day was the actual devil, right? An actual person, an actual thing, an actual being is stopping and holding you back. So what that does to us, as a personal development person, is it sends the message that you have no control. You can't change it. You can't make something different. You can't find the solution. And that curse, right? Because now if you have a curse too, guess what? You can't change it. You can't do anything about it. You have no control. So when he said power, so what I've learned since is that the devil is actually everything and anything that's stopping you. So the procrastination is the devil. How do you get rid of the procrastination, right? The laziness is the devil. So how do you get rid of the devil? So you flip that switch, flipping your mind to say, okay, well, now let me take charge. And I know people love the word control. So my thing is, I tell people all the time that, hey, you don't have any control, but you do have charge. You can take charge over whatever. It's raining outside. You have no control over the rain, but how you dress, how you go out there, how you move around, those things you can take charge of. And people get it twisted between control and power. you have the power to walk into your authority. You have no control over it, of what happens. So I love this. Thank you so much for playing that, Christine.
You're welcome. I'll make sure
Yes.
to post it in the group too. Go ahead.
I really liked it too. And one thing that I caught on and held on to, mind over matter, create the life you love, create the life you live.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was it was good. It brought me back to some of the things that I used to do, and going back to the things that that I know used to work that I stopped doing, that I need to go back, revisit, and pull those tools that I know work for me. And that's why I put, because I used to, you know, deal with my health and not feeling well, sometimes getting out of bed, or even with procrastination. And I would tell myself, you know, my body is not the boss of me. My body is not the boss. And I would just repeat it. And then I read that book. I forget her name now, just slipped my mind. But the lady who did the countdown, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm.
You know, and just bringing up things. Huh?
I said Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And bringing those things back into what I used to do. It's like, why did we stop doing the things that I knew used to work, you know? But that was a good reminder. He was very good.
Yeah, very good. Very good. The couple things I took out: having that extreme ownership over everything that is going on in your life. Having extreme ownership, being aware and having the accountability of what is going on, the good and the bad. Because even though there are the different things that go on that we have no control over, how we respond, how we receive it, and how we operate after makes all the difference in the world, right? Of course, don't allow your feelings to run you. Trust me, I've allowed my feelings to run all over me, upside down, around. I'd be flat as a pancake, going crazy. And then 2 days later, I'd be like, for real, Chris? For real? Like, people closer to me, they'll be like, and I'll tell them, listen, I already know. And I'll say, you know, I have a couple of my little sounding boards. I'm like, listen, I just need y'all to pray for me because my mind is running over me right now. And I know it, I understand it. I'm just getting it out. I'm gonna be over it in a minute, right? And I say 2 days, and usually don't take me that long. But just it like can feel that way, you know, and that's when we are allowing our minds to run. And usually the things that are going on are the emotions, it's the feelings, right? Because it's always that TFAR, your thoughts create the feelings, your feelings create your actions create your results. So at the end of the day, if you're broken, it started in your mind, right? TFAR, TFAR, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. So when we want to change those results, we got to change what we're thinking. It doesn't matter what somebody else said. It doesn't matter what happened. It's what do we believe, how we're receiving it, what we're going to do with that. Because again, we don't have any control of a lot of the different things that happen, but we do have control of ourselves. So having that extreme ownership of how we're going to deal with it, right? Looking at the time, let me jump to share this screen with you guys, with you ladies. Okay. How to make the shift, right? We're looking at fixed mindset and growth versus growth mindset. Taking a look at these different things, where do you fall in the majority of the time? You want to avoid challenges, refuse to receive criticism or feedback. You get all tight when somebody wants to tell you something to help you. You focus on proving yourself. So you are trying to, there's an issue and you're trying to prove that point. You're proving yourself, even though it could be wrong, but you really believe it's right. And you got other people trying to help you, but you just are stuck. Feel threatened by other people's success. Can't accept failures or mistakes. You shy away from unfamiliar things, and you believe that talent is static, right? The growth mindset is you view challenges as opportunities. Embrace constructive criticism. Focus on the process, not the end result. Be inspired by others' success. Learn and grow from your failures. Always step out of that comfort zone. That's a hard one. because everybody like to be comfortable. Your mind is created to keep you comfortable, safe, and believing that talent is ever improving. So constantly growing and learning. I have one other one, which is the growth mindset. And I'll open it up for more comments. But this growth mindset, I like this chart. There's a million of them out there on Google, but I really like this one. One, because of the colors, because I'm a colorful person. But two, it helps you as you're thinking about what you're thinking about throughout the course of your days moving forward. When you say, I can't make this any better, what you should be saying, I'll keep trying. So this is giving you that brain like, okay, well, this is what I'm thinking, but this is what I should think. Because it's one thing when we are trying to make those adjustments, we're trying to take things out, our bad habits. In order to get rid of these bad habits, we have to create new ones, right? You have to put something in place of it. It's like individuals that were smokers and they're like, okay, I'm gonna quit smoking. So they have to pay attention to when is it and what is it that they do on a day-to-day basis of when it triggers them to want to have a cigarette. Is it in the morning when they get their cup of coffee and they sit at this kitchen table? Okay, well, guess what? I need to move the table around. I need to not get a cup of coffee in the morning. So it doesn't trigger me like, oh, I need a cigarette too, right? So those different things, you have to make adjustments. So I'm not good at this. Mistakes help me to improve. I don't get it. Is this really my best work? Right? I'll never be as smart as them. I'm going to figure out what they did. I made a mistake. I'm going to ask for help. I give up. I'm going to train my brain to be better. This is too hard. This may take some time and effort. It's good enough. I can always improve. So noticing how this is what our brain is saying, but this is what I can replace it with. So any more comments, questions?
Are you able to post this?
I am going to post it. Absolutely, I'm going to post it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is good, Chris, because it definitely gives you a visual and give us some things that we can take and work on ourselves. I love visuals, so definitely gonna take this and use it.
Yeah, this is good because we always do that self-talk. And if we can, like you said, replace the self-talk, the self-doubt, and the insecurities with something positive. It doesn't have to go way up, but just one more thought that's a little more positive, and then a little more positive, and a little more, because sometimes you don't want to say something too far to the left because you don't believe yourself. You know, but if you can get to that next place, why are you saying that? Or why do you think that? Because you've done this before. Maybe reflect on some things that you were successful in.
Yeah.
And that will help to that mindset. I deal with this constantly.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
And I believe the majority of women do. The majority of us do. And this is why we don't succeed. We get to certain levels and then it's kind of like, we get to certain levels and then it's, you know what I mean? It's that person in the mirror. It's what are you saying to yourself? And this is why I really would love if you guys, for this next week, as you are working, as you are doing what you know you need to do, because it's just like anybody who wants to lose weight. We all know what to do to lose weight. We all know what to do, but will you do it? Right? Right? It's always that, and I'm gonna talk about myself. I'm on track now. I'm 4 weeks in working out every single day. Thank you, Jesus.
I was about to say, okay, Chrissy, stop yelling at me.
Hey, I'm just saying, but I've done, you know, we've done the same thing, working out and then stop, then doing it and then stopping. And then it was always that, like just using the working out, you start working out and then you get super sore. You're like, oh my God, my whole body hurts. I'm not doing this. And then, you know, you go ahead and you get the cheese curls and it's like, oh my God, these are so good. They create this food to make you crave it. So you keep eating it so that they can make the money. Okay, let's just be clear. If you look at the scientific way of how they make this stuff, it's so that you want to consume more and more and more. Like McDonald's wasn't stupid. That stuff is not even real, but they got some chemicals up in there to make your brain like, I want 2 Big Macs, not just one. Okay. It's why they supersize everything.
Yeah.
Why does McDonald's no longer have salads? Come on, y'all.
Yeah, right.
They don't.
Pandemic.
They got rid of salads a long time ago. But the point is, these things, your pop, right? You drink it. I could sit here and I could drink a 2-liter a Pepsi, not anymore because it hurts my heart, but I used to. But I couldn't sit here and drink a gallon of water. Why?
Mm-hmm.
They're created for us to crave them. And so this is where, even in the word, going back to the word, where it says that we have to continually be renewing our mind. If we were constantly in that word and constantly reading and constantly studying the word, we would know who we are.
Yes.
We would truly know how powerful we are. And the fear is not of God.
Nope.
It's not, right? Look, the fear is the devil, okay? The fear is the devil. It's keeping us from what we're supposed to be doing. But we all know what we're supposed to do. It's just, we're not doing it. So just in this next week, and all of this, trust me, is to help you in your insurance business. We didn't talk about how to do an app today. We'll be posting stuff to help you with those things. You just need to get into your portals and do that. This is helping your inner woman to be able to understand that, okay, I do have a choice. Get out of the feelings. The feelings will keep you broke. They will keep you making bad decisions, bad choices, and at the end of the day, feeling like you're not worthy. Stop talking to yourself worse than your worst abuser. Because you're saying it, you're hearing it, you're listening. And some of us say it out loud. Oh my God, you're so stupid. Who are you talking to?
Oh.
I've done it to me. I've been like, what? You were so crazy. And when back in the day, I used to throw doors at people because I was telling myself all the time you was crazy. I was just living into my words. Be careful what you are speaking to yourself because you're listening.
So true.
Right? I can't get this. This is too hard. God wants to give you everything that you ask for. I want you to think about that.
Amen.
Matter of fact, I want you to write that down.
Write it down.
God wants to give you everything that you ask for.
The question is, are we ready?
No, the question is not, are you ready? You are ready. The question is, what are you asking for? I just make sure I can pay my bills this month. Don't your bills usually get paid? Right? We got to think deeper. We are ready for it. We are ready for it. Because if we weren't really ready for certain things, we wouldn't have been given that vision. This is my belief. This is my belief. I don't believe I'd have been given a vision if I could not achieve it. It's the uncomfortable side of me that's like, am I really ready? Right? I was not comfortable getting this office after being terminated from a carrier I was with for 10 years. But it was already the vision that was given to me before I was terminated. So I just kept going. I'm like, okay, God, we're going to figure this thing out. And then obviously we figured it out, right? It ended up being a blessing. We got to truly believe. And when we get ourselves in order, we don't have time. Like, don't wait till next week to start calling your clients. We don't have time for that. You need to be making some money, make some shmoney. But just enjoy that process and making the phone calls, talking to the people. Remember, they're just like you. They're just like you. And some of them, when they calling and cussing you out and fussing, I'm sure we've had them days too, where again, they are just like us.
Christine, I just want to share really quickly.
Yes.
Last week, you and I got to talking, excuse me, and I do believe that words are very effective.
Yeah.
But lots of time, we want what we want. We don't think to the level of we want or we can receive what he wants for us. So last week, you and I were having a conversation. I'm like, you know what? Even if I don't get this growth, basically this, I don't grow an agency. And you're like, wait a minute, why would you not? Right? But for me, it's like, well, I don't want that. So why am I going to ask for it? So we stop ourselves from what we can actually receive. Yeah. I just wanted to plug that in there because sometimes we only see our, as far as we can see, and we don't see as far as he can provide. So I just wanted to drop that in there.
Amen.
That's it. How do you make the shift? How do you make the shift? You got to challenge your self-limiting beliefs. Martha, you write on it. Right? You write on it. The limiting beliefs. Face your fears. You got to shift your perspective. And that's hard because sometimes we don't even realize that we all have a perspective. And it, and it's like, okay, how do I shift this? By the things that you're listening to. What are you reading? Who are you talking to? If you stay within the same realm that you've always been in, you're never going to grow. But when you start tapping in and talking to people that are at a different level, at another level that you want to go to, that's uncomfortable because it's like, are they going to want to talk to me? You know what I mean? I'm not at that level. How else are you going to get there? Right? Change your self-talk. We already just talked about that. And then getting that support to help you. Right? Changing your mindset. Mindset is a set of beliefs, values, and attitudes about yourself and the world around you. So when we stop and we really take that moment for ourselves and start thinking about, like, why do I feel this way? Why do I believe this? Why am I like fighting myself to just do those things that are necessary to get to that next level? Right? That positive thinking is going to be associated with a greater level of happiness and decreasing anxiety, which a lot of us suffer from. And it's going to automatically improve your health, right? It's a threefold. So when you start changing those thoughts that are in your mind, like, can I do this? Yeah, you can. How? So when you start telling your mind, I'm going to do this, guess what happens? Your mind starts trying to figure out ways to make it happen, right? I'm going to be transparent, then we're going to go. We got 7 minutes. I'm being transparent, and maybe I'm going to stop recording while I'm about to be transparent.